we are going to discuss about the topic of history of Andhra Pradesh. History of Andhra Pradesh regarding to our service commission examinations, in which it carries group 1 sector, it carries 50 marks. That means they are going to give about 5 questions. That means we have to write about 5 questions in each that part A section of part paper 2 in group 1 sector, and for paper 2 it is also paper 2 in group 2 examination. It carries 75 marks, 75 marks regarding to our examination. So the group 1 pattern is entirely different from the group 2 pattern. So group 1 is, you already know, it is an descriptive type of examination, and coming to group 2 it is an objective type of examination. But comparatively we go for both these examinations, and purely we are going to discuss about in depth of the history of Andhra Pradesh regarding to our syllabus, that is our new syllabus. Okay, so the first of all we are going to discuss about the social and cultural history of Andhra Pradesh. Social and cultural history of Andhra Pradesh. So here we are going to discuss about the social and cultural history of Andhra Pradesh. But right now Andhra Pradesh is in the country of India. It is located in the country of India. So where it happens, that means the history of Andhra Pradesh comes under the history of India. The history of Andhra Pradesh comes under the history of India. That means the history of India itself describes about the history of Andhra Pradesh. But particularly we are living in the state of Andhra Pradesh. So we are going to discuss about the state of Andhra Pradesh. But comparatively we should go for both India and Andhra. That means we are having the sources of history of India as ancient, medieval and modern. Ancient, medieval and modern. So ancient Indian history, medieval Indian history, modern Indian history. And like the same wise, we are having ancient Andhra history, medieval Andhra history and modern Andhra history. So what happens in the ancient times and what happens in the medieval times, what happened in the modern times. So just we go for comparison. So it's a very easy way to understand the subject of Andhra related to India. So right now our topic is social and cultural history of Andhra Pradesh. So it comes under ancient Andhra history or history of Andhra. So the first topic related to this ancient Andhra is geographical features of Andhra, its impact on history and culture. Its impact on history and culture. So we are not going to get the questions on geographical conditions. This is a historical conditions. So here itself they gave an example, that means they gave completely description its impact on history and culture. What impact? That is nothing but geographical features impact on history and culture of Andhra Pradesh. So just geographical impact itself we use that locational aspects, physiographical aspects and rivers. So we don't need to go about the climatic conditions. Just we go for the locational aspects, physiographic aspects and rivers. So these are the three geographical terms what we are going to discuss here itself. So what is the location itself? Location nothing but latitudes and longitudes. Latitudes and longitudes. So dear aspirants, don't go for this latitudes and longitudes. We are going to discuss about this history only. For just for recognition of a state, we have to go for the latitudes and longitudes. That means where does it occur? That means where it is in the state. So this much of longitudes and this type of latitudes. So this is the latitudinal extent and this is the longitudinal extent of Andhra. So that question is not going to give in our examination, but we have to go for historical importance. For that we have to first go for geographical conditions. So knowing geographical conditions, we must go for the further, because geographical conditions impact on all other subjects, whatever the subjects may be. So next one is physiographic divisions. So what are the physiographic divisions related to Andhra Desha? Right now we are calling Andhra Pradesh. Right now we are calling this as Andhra Pradesh. But in ancient time there is a other name which we call as Andhra Desha. Andhra Desha. Our Andhra Pradesh right now is a bifurcated Andhra Pradesh. In 1953 it is called as Andhra Rashtra. 1956 it is again called as Andhra Pradesh. Again in 2014 our state Andhra Pradesh is divided into, that means bifurcated into two. One is Telangana and Andhra. Right now we are going to discuss about the state of Andhra Pradesh history. That means purely Andhra history. So physiographic divisions. What are the physiographic divisions in our Andhra state of Andhra? So what are the physiographic divisions? Simply just we go for a map. This is a simple and rough map of Andhra Pradesh. So what is the eastern part of Andhra Pradesh? What is the western part of Andhra Pradesh? What is the northern part of Andhra Pradesh? What is the southern part of Andhra Pradesh? And what are the physiographic divisions in the Andhra Pradesh? That means what are the plateaus? What are the plains? What are the coastal areas? And what are the islands, etc. So here we have to discuss that these plains, plateaus, coastal areas and islands related to history and culture. Don't go for what are the coastal plains. We already know the coastal plains of Andhra Pradesh is called as a coastal region or Sarkar region, but that is not important for our history. It is only for geography. How is it related? And this coastal area in ancient times the trade is carried near this coastal area. That is almost all the 9 coastal districts of Andhra Pradesh. And coming to the rivers. So what is the impact of rivers in history and culture? That means all the sources. That means the sources, whatever the historical evidences we got in here is whatever the history or culture developed is on the banks of the rivers. Once again, each and every history and culture, that means the history of each and every man or early man from early to modern, each and every history and culture depends upon on the bank of the river, developed on the bank of the rivers. So what type of questions we are expecting here? Itself means the rivers. So in group 1 pattern we are not going to write about the rivers and so and so. Here just for group 2 pattern, live example, if I can go for one example, the river name is Brahmakundi. What is Brahmakundi? It is a ancient river. What is its present name is nothing but Gundlakamma river. So Gundlakamma river is in a Prakasam district of Andhra Pradesh. So this ancient name is Brahmakundi. And these are the geographical impact, that is means locational, physiographic and rivers. And coming to historical sources, we are having 2 types. One is literary and the other one is archaeological sources. So literary sources means we are having the native writers and foreign writers. Nothing but historians. So which of the following book native author or which of the following book gives the sources of Andhra, and which of the foreign author gives the sources of Andhra? And coming to inscriptions, these are the major sources of history, whether India or Andhra, because in ancient times the inscriptions played major role for knowing the history of and historical conditions of whether India or Andhra. And coming to coins also played, but coins itself indicates the trade and economic system of that particular period of Andhra or India. And this is nothing but constructions. So what are the constructions that are conducted, that are built in the ancient origin? And right now these 3 played in archaeological sources. So archaeological sources includes inscriptions, coins, constructions. Literary sources includes native sources and foreign sources. Native sources means the books written by the or the information given by the native writers, and foreign sources means the sources given by the foreign writers. Okay, and coming to these topics regarding to race of Andhra, this is the most important topic, the race of Andhra. So where does the race of Andhra originated? Where does the race of Andhra originated? So the race of Andhra originated, and at the same time the word this race was mentioned in which of the following book or which of the following sources. Even they will ask the question on the race. They will ask the question on the race. Where does the race of Andhra originated, or which book gives the description of the race of Andhra? The race of Andhra. Generally, we got the information that most probably Aitareya Brahmana. Aitareya Brahmana. So Aitareya Brahmana is a book. Aitareya Brahmana is a book that gives the first and foremost information about the race of Andhra. So what is Aitareya Brahmana? These are the Brahmanas which are related to Aryan culture. That means in Aryan culture, we are getting source of literary sources. That means Vedas, Vedangas, Upavedas, Upanishads, and following to epics. These are the sources of Aryan culture. But coming to the sources of Aryan culture, during Aryan time, the Brahmanas, which are coincidence with Vedas, gives the information about race of Andhra. So the book Aitareya Brahmana gives the information or description of the race of Andhra. How many Brahmanas are there? There are 7 Brahmanas. In that 7 Brahmanas, Aitareya Brahmana gave the description of the race of Andhra. And the next one is the name of Andhra Desha. The name of Andhra Desha. So right now we are calling Andhra Pradesh, but in ancient time it is called as Andhra Desha. Not Andhra Desha. It is called as Trilinga Desha. So Trilinga Desha. What is Trilinga Desha? Trilinga, here tri means 3. Trilinga Desha. That is nothing but Srisailam, Draksharamam, and Kaleshwaram in Telangana. So whatever the sources may be, in ancient times Andhra is called as, this is an example. We are not going in depth. These are a brief information. So Trilinga itself gives the information that Trilinga means the 3 places, that is pilgrimage centers in Andhra: Draksharamam, Srisailam, and Kaleshwaram. So there are another sources also. So we are going to discuss in our further classes. And the language of Andhra. So what is the source of language of Andhra? We already know that the source of language of Andhra, that means in ancient times, when the script is available, there we used Prakrit language. This Prakrit is the origin of the Telugu language, but the Telugu language came into existence purely from 11th century AD. Okay, so it is origin from the Prakrit. That means the mother words or the root words are from the Prakrit itself, and then Sanskrit, and then Telugu. It is entirely developed in 11th century AD. And next, coming to Aryan civilization and Andhra. Here, what happens during the civilization during Aryan period in North India, at the same time in Andhra? If the civilization is parallel to the civilization spread in Andhra, we are going to discuss about the Andhra during Aryan civilization. If not, we don't want to discuss about this topic. So this is about the first topic of the geographical features and of Andhra, its impact on history and culture. And coming to the second topic of ancient history, that is prehistoric culture. So prehistoric culture itself indicates that the stone ages, that means we already know about the stone ages, that is nothing but Paleolithic age, Mesolithic age, Neolithic age, Chalcolithic age. Paleo, Meso, Neo, Chalcolithic age. So comparing to India, so what happened in Andhra during Paleolithic times, during Mesolithic times, during Neolithic times, during Chalcolithic times? Okay, Paleolithic man of Andhra, Mesolithic man of Andhra, Neolithic man of Andhra, and Chalcolithic man of Andhra. We have to go for this. This is the prehistoric culture. Where are the mounds, monuments, and the sources that are available in the places of Andhra? That we are going to discuss here itself. Next, coming to the third topic, the Shatavahanas. Here, in these both topics, we can get 3 to 4 marks. That means roughly I am telling that in objective type of questions we are going to get 3 to 4 marks. But coming to the Shatavahanas, in these both topics we are getting 3 to 4 marks. In Shatavahanas we can get near to 6 to 8 marks. Roughly, I am not telling exactly, it is a roughly we are going to discuss. So Shatavahanas is going to be important. But here itself one more thing, that is the topic Ikshvakus, the Shatavahanas and Ikshvakus. So go for socio-economic, religious, literature, art and architecture conditions. Art and architectural conditions. So social conditions of Andhra during Shatavahanas, during Ikshvakus, economic conditions of Shatavahanas and Ikshvakus, and religious conditions of Shatavahanas, and literature conditions of Shatavahanas, art and architecture of Shatavahanas and Ikshvakus. But there are some other topics after Ikshvakus: Brihatpalayans, Shalankayans, Anandagotrajas, and there are some small kingdoms. But in our syllabus they are not mentioned. But we have to go for that. But entirely we should focus on the topics socio-economic, religious, literature, and art and architectural conditions. And parallelly political conditions also, political conditions for the all the other dynasties. And the last one in this ancient is the Vishnu Kundins. The Vishnu Kundins ruled over Andhra for some time. So we have to go for that. But we no need to go for the kings. That means we no need to know about the history of the kings. That means we don't want to know where the kings are placed. That means the Vishnu Kundin kings made an achievements. That means historical monuments. That means again literature, art and architecture. So whatever the situation may be, we should go for this only. That means the ancient history entirely depends upon socio-economic, religious conditions, literature and art and architecture. Wherever the sources are available, the sources are available. And also we go for the history of Andhra, nothing but political conditions, social conditions, economical conditions, religious conditions. So whole and soul we must go for this. And further this continuation we go for titles of the kings and battles, and some other places. We go for the places. So in brief, this is about the first topic of Andhra Pradesh. So we will go in depth for the further classes. Just this is an introduction class for the social and cultural history of Andhra Pradesh. Okay, right. Thank you.